Hello everybody, it's Julia, and yes, I moved to Lisbon, as you can see from the fact that I'm recording with a different background, and as you can maybe hear from the fact that I don't have my mic with me, and so I'm just recording with my phone. I hope the audio quality is not too bad, and maybe it's just gonna be decent enough not to notice that, but now I give it away. But yeah, so I'm in Lisbon. No, it's not a permanent move. I would be going back to Amsterdam. I don't know when. I still don't have my return ticket, but that doesn't really matter. What matters for this video is the message that I want to convey. That is that of the importance of grand gestures. What is a grand gesture, first of all? So this is a concept that I read. I got from a book. The book is Deep Work from Carl Newport. And actually, the definition I'm gonna read, I don't think it's a formal definition, but I don't want to get it wrong. So grand gesture, he says, is leveraging a radical change to your normal environment, coupled perhaps with a significant investment of effort or money, somewhat, I kind of have it, dedicated towards supporting a deep work task so that you increase the perceived importance of the task. What does it mean? Why is it applicable to me? Why can it be applicable to you? So, in my case, I was just finding myself in Amsterdam, working from home for pretty much the last year, which is fine, but I think I got myself to the point of close to a burnout, looking at the symptoms online, and it was really affecting my productivity, my happiness, because I was getting anxious for the fact that I was not producing as much as I wanted to, because I was so excited about the PhD in the first place that I started to take on so many tasks and so many projects and started wanting to do so many things that at the end of the day, the moment I realized that I could actually not do everything that I wanted, because, you know, there's this many hours in a day and I'm just one person with a limited amount of energy, unfortunately. The moment I had to start putting some things in the back burner, like temporarily, permanently, possibly, I just really started to feel really low in motivation, in mood, and just started to just experience my day-to-day life as a chore rather than something enjoyable as I was enjoying before. Like in the month of January, I was loving my PhD. I was like, I cannot believe I'm being paid for this. And the tasks didn't really change. What changed was my mindset, and my productivity went down, and it just started going worse and worse day after day. And after a couple of weeks, 3-4 weeks, I was standing in front of my laptop and I was sometimes kind of tearing up just for no reason at all, because I could see that I was not loving my job as much as I do love my job, if it makes any sense. It just got to the point where it was too much, and I just exploded a little bit. So I wanted to snap myself out of that, and I had just finished reading the book Deep Work, which is focused a lot on how to be productive, how to focus on like intellectually demanding tasks like what I felt that I had to do in my PhD. And I read this idea of the grand gesture, and it really kind of clicked for me, because I was at that point, like 2 weeks ago, I was really wanting to just change my environment and say, you know, I need to step away from my day-to-day life, which right now is becoming so repetitive and, you know, predictable and not exciting anymore, even though, of course, the day-to-day job is always a little bit different, but my routine was so predictable. I knew that the next day I just had to wake up, sit at the desk, work, go back in my studio. Nothing to do in the Netherlands. There's a curfew, so I cannot meet friends. No gym, except for, you know, at-home exercising, which can only go that far for me, unfortunately. I just really like to take classes and be around people for exercise on a regular basis. So that didn't work, and my life just started to kind of not look anything like it was looking before, even though nothing really changed except for my mood. And so I decided that I needed to change something. And that something is just going to Lisbon. At first, I went back to Italy because I had some, essential business travel reasons to sort out back home. But on the way back, I was like, you know what? I'm not going to go back to Amsterdam just yet because, COVID is raging in the Netherlands and also in Italy, by the way. And I was like, I just need my laptop to work from home. I have a small suitcase with very essential clothes. So my laptop is there, my suitcase is here. I can go somewhere else. And I just booked this studio, which is pretty amazing, in Lisbon. And I'm just here working from home, and my mind and my mindset changed radically. And now I'm once again in the excited mood for my job, and I love what I'm doing, and I can focus way better. I can read the papers, I can prepare the presentations, and these were all some things that, despite not being anything significantly different or at all different from what I was doing before, in the weeks where I was feeling that kind of very low mood and unhappiness and unsatisfaction, really, but they were becoming chores and I could not do them properly. I had a hard time to focus, I had a hard time being productive. And now changing only one thing, the studio where I sleep, is changing everything, and got me back to really wanting to get stuff done and being productive and getting back to being really motivated for what I'm doing. And I'm really not doing anything significantly different, because in Portugal the restrictions are exactly the same as they are in the Netherlands, minus the curfew at night. But I don't know if it's the change in the environment, the fact that here I really have zero distractions, because I don't have my instruments, I don't have as many books. I only brought 2 books with me. I hope they're gonna last for as long as I'm staying here, because I don't have the return ticket. I have literally 2 hoodies that I wash in my shower with me when I need. And so this fact that I don't have a plan for the future and I don't have distractions around me, and I'm paying for a studio where I'm just staying to study, to work, even though I'm paying for a studio in Amsterdam just as well to do exactly the same, is really making me feel the pressure and the importance of what I'm doing. And I'm like, I cannot waste this time. Like, I'm in Lisbon, I'm gonna take a walk every day, even though there's nothing to go to and into because everything is closed, but the weather is warm and nice and sunny, and there's the ocean, and it's a place I've never seen. So my brain is stimulated on that side. On the other side, my wallet is stimulated by the fact that I'm paying for the studio. It's not expensive, but so I read in the book that J.K. Rowling was doing this in a super expensive hotel suite in Edinburgh, but that's a different scale in order to finish writing Harry Potter, one of the books. I don't remember exactly which one. It's not the same, but given my current salary, this is just as good of a grand gesture and investment of money as it is for her, as it was for her to go to the expensive hotel suite to finish writing. But it really changed, and I'm really glad and grateful for the fact that I can do this, despite really not changing anything else in my life, except for the fact that here I have a couch and in my studio I don't, in Amsterdam. But bottom line, and the message that I think I would like to convey with this video, is that if you find yourself in a similar situation, and maybe you also have a job that requires this kind of deep work, or even if it's something different, even if you just feel that you're lacking motivation in your day-to-day life, due to, for example, the repetition of the COVID life and the situation that we're all in right now, like, is there any small but radical change that you can make to your routine, your surroundings? The fact that maybe instead of going for a walk in the path to the left, you go on a walk in the path to the right. Is there anything that you can do to stimulate your brain with something different, and to feel that there's some newfound importance to what you're doing, maybe, yeah, you can take a couple of days and book an Airbnb in exactly the same hometown where you are right now and experience it maybe as a tourist, or maybe just go there on your own, your book, and just say, okay, these 2 days are for me to read this book that I couldn't finish for so long. And try to just snap yourself out of the cycle of just waiting for, the COVID pandemic to wear off. If it ever will, I don't know, we'll see with the future and the vaccines and how it evolves, and hopefully we'll be back to normal in the future. But in the meantime, also take care of yourself and your work and your productivity, your well-being. And if you find that some grand gesture can help, maybe try to go for it, because to me it really made a huge difference. Even though, I'm still working, I'm still sitting on a desk in front of my laptop taking Zoom calls, reading papers, but I'm doing it in a different studio, and this gave me back my motivation to work. And that was something that I really was lacking for the past month, I think. So I hope this concept of grand gesture will be useful for you. I will link the YouTube, the book, the Amazon link, or whatever you want. Hopefully you can read that if it's useful for you. I really found it useful for productivity hacks and tools, and just an overall explanation of how to put yourself through deep work, if that's something that can be interesting for you. So it worked for me, and I wholeheartedly advise you to do the same. So from Lisbon, and who knows, maybe the next videos will be from here just as well. This is all, and I hope you found it useful, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.